now I'll do it again. I'll tell you this. Al Ruddy, the way he got in the show business, no one knows this story. He worked for the Rand Corporation. He was an architect, and he was working for a missile defense system. And he had a producer living in a duplex above his house. And the producer was a writer of My Favorite Martian. And Al said, well, what do you do? And he reads the script, and he says, well, this is what you do. How much you make? You make $3,500? In those days, a lot of money. He goes, you make $3,500 to write this script? He says, well, I got to get into show business. So Al turns around, creates a little show called Hogan's Heroes. And with that, Albert S. Ruddy.
Please sit down. We're going to have some fun. We're not going to be serious tonight. We're going to enjoy the night. First of all, after the introduction Leslie White just did, I should have come in here on a rope from the ceiling and flying in like Superman. I will tell you that I am truly honored to be here tonight. I know quite a bit about the Armenian history. I've always been intrigued with the culture, and just amazing to what the Armenians who came to this country when they lost theirs, when they were driven out of theirs by the same people that are killing the Turks at the moment. When they were driven out of their own country, they had an opportunity to come to the house on the hill, to America, bringing this rich culture and the training with them, and how they have survived and received in America. So it is my true honor to be here and just enjoy the whole night with you. Look, the truth in fact is I never should have been in this business. I got in by mistake. I was originally an architect. I graduated at SC School of Architecture. Then I worked at Rand Corporation as a programmer trainee. Actually, you know, when I saw the ad in the newspaper, she's the logo, this one. I see an ad in the newspaper, programmer trainees wanted. I said, I'm going to get a job at a network. I love it. I thought I was going to ABC, NBC, and CBS. I went to Rand Corporation, where I stayed for 20 months. And in my spare time, I started working with an out-of-work actor, doing half-hour comedy shows. And everyone that works there, what are you morons doing around here anyhow? That's what we're creating a new television show. Was it, have you ever had a job? No. I said, we're just doing a new show. You used to think we're half-wits, I swear to God. When we sold Hogan's Heroes, I went in, this one agent I knew who I gave the script to, takes me down to CBS to meet William S. Paley, who owned the network. Now, I knew nothing about show business, but I knew Mr. Paley's face because he was very prominent. I walked into the meeting with this agent, and the agent says, we're here to discuss the show Mr. Ruddy created, blah, 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 Hogan's Heroes. Bill Paley looked at the agent and said, I find the idea of Nazis as comic characters to be totally reprehensible. At which point, my agent collapsed, gestured his head. He'll tell you about it. He just wanted to hide out. He didn't even want to discuss it. Well, I looked at Paley, and there was no logic to what I had to do, so I started acting out the script. I acted out the script, literally doing dog bark, machine guns. I know nothing, and I'm jumping up and down like a maniac. Now, I'm sure the only thing that was funny was me. I don't know if the script was funny, but Bill Paley started to laugh at me. And the whole room started to laugh when the chief started to laugh. So before you know it, they buy Hogan's Heroes. They buy Hogan's Heroes. Suddenly, I'm a boy genius. I get taken around to the studio, because they say, where'd you come up with this great idea, Bob? So I go into Bob Evans' office, Peter Bart, and said, well, what else would you like to do? And I told him, I wrote a football story called The Longest Yard. Anyhow, I'm not going to bore you with my life. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that are emblematic of the work I've done, because philosophically what comes out is what all of us have to face. Is if you're doing Armenian films, German, I don't care what it is, there's moments when you're working as a producer that it is only you. It is your obligation, it's your baby, it's your job. Don't look for anyone else to save you. You put your life on the line and you do it completely. You know what I'm going to do? I hadn't planned to do this, but I'm going to tell you about a movie I did that was not a success. But it reminded me of something that I carried on for the rest of my life. I'm going to shorten the story. I did a movie called Matilda. It was about a boxing kangaroo, not the one that was out recently. This was done a long time ago. It was about a boxing kangaroo that Elliot Gould finds. This is a great kangaroo, and he, in the story, works until by the end of the movie where his boxing kangaroo fights the world champion boxer for the gold. And so it was a marvelous Paul Gallico story, right? So I wrote this story, I wrote the book. We put it all together with Guinness Ale and Stout. Guinness Ale and Stout wanted to get into the movie business. So after The Godfather, there was certain, Al Ruddy must be a genius to come up with this whole thing, right? So I come up, I cast Elliot Gould, I cast Bachman. The movie is going along swimmingly on budget. I am getting $900,000 to produce this thing, which was like $3 million on these today. And I'm going to get into the end. So everything's going well, but I need a boxing kangaroo. I had the greatest animal trainer in the world said, I have found you a kangaroo that is the Muhammad Ali of kangaroo. It is by far the greatest boxer I've ever seen. So he's trained this kangaroo. We're all having a good time. Well, 3 weeks before we're going to start, because we're going to start in Reno with the World Championship fight with Jerry Quarry, who's going to play the champ. And don't ask me why, but I told Danny, Danny, we can at least go take a look at this kangaroo who's going to be our star in this movie. So we fly to Newark, New Jersey, and we go to this big corral, giraffe. The guy takes us in the back. In the center of the corral, in a box the size of a giant coffin, is this kangaroo. It looked like a big rabbit sitting inside. He takes the kangaroo up, puts boxing gloves on the gun, red boxing gloves. And he turns around and puts red boxing gloves on himself. And he said, when I turn around, the kangaroo's going to stand up and start fighting. Oh, I said, great. Now, Danny and I are standing up against the wall in this corral, right? So, 1, 2, ha! So this is the kangaroo. Kangaroo says the two love. Oh, is he nervous the first time? We'll try it again. He puts it up, he jumps up to the kangaroo, ha! The kangaroo still sits there with his red gloves on. The guy turns around and tries to explain to me that the kangaroo's just taken. And while he's talking to me, this kangaroo stands up. The kangaroo is 6'4", and he smashes this guy so hard, the guy went flying by Dan into the bush. Nice. We ran, we thought the kangaroo was going to come after us then. It was scary at that point. Anyhow, I'm going to get to the end. We can't use this kangaroo, he's going to murder. He's going to murder Jerry Quarry. So I called Stan Winston up, I said, I need a kangaroo suit. There's no such thing as a kangaroo suit, because physiologically, kangaroos are like big bears with little heads on them. And they're not, I said, Stan, I don't care what the hell the kangaroo looks like. I need something that looks like the kangaroo, because we're shooting in 3 weeks. Now, I must say, he did his best. He did his best. He built a suit that from the neck down looked like a kangaroo. Of course, it had a tail that looked like it was a carpet from stranded carpet. But the head was so small, so he put the head on a lump on the body. The lump was my kid inside looked like the kangaroo had a goiter. So it was a bear with his head in and the kangaroo on top of him. And then we went through this thing, slugging it out every day. I said, don't do close-up. Shoot the kangaroo from far away. It doesn't matter. What the hell it is. As long as that hopper jumps around, right? Well, in the sweetest moment in the movie, in the script, where Elliot Gould tells the kangaroo before the World Championship fight how much the kangaroo's done for him and changed his life, and he wants to thank him. Elliot Gould is doing a masterful job of acting, almost on the verge of tears. We cut to the kangaroo. One eye is half closed, the ear is hanging down. The whole thing is a disaster. Anyhow, now I'm going to cut to the end. We sold this movie before we started to shoot it, so everyone came out. And I said, this may be the end of my career. It may be the end of my career. The movie wraps, my partner Dick St. John goes back to London, and he calls me up. He said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah, why? He said, Al, the guys that financed our movie, get us there and stuff, just called me up. And they said, we want to finance 4 more movies with you, because any guys who can do that piece of crap and make money, we want to be in business with. Now, the point I'm trying to make is never stop. You never know where the end is. Whatever you do, that was my movie, I'm going to live with it, I never stop. I probably should have pulled the plug on that movie when I saw it. We didn't have a kangaroo. But the point is, it was my obligation. It was my obligation to the actors, my obligation to the financiers. Now, when people want to know how I got the job on The Godfather, I was at Paramount. I just did a little low-budget movie, and the head of the studio, Bob Evans, called me, and he said, would you be interested in producing The Godfather? I thought it was a joke. I never read the book, of course. I said, I love that book. I'd do anything to do that movie, right? He said, well, you have to go to New York to meet Charles Bluedorn, who owns the Conglomerate. He has to approve you. I said, I'll do it. I get on an airplane, flying to New York. I'm reading The Godfather on the plane, making whatever insightful comments I might make on it. I go right to this office to meet him. I'm there for 5 minutes. I just come off an airplane in the rain with my suitcase. The door opens up, and then walks this mad Austrian who owns Gulf and Western. He's got twitchy eyes. I looked at this guy right away, and I said, I have 5 minutes with him, and then I'm going to lose him. He says, hello, I'm Charlie Bluedorn. Hello, I'm Al Ruddy. The next line out of his mouth was kind of ridiculous when looking back at it, but that's what you have to deal with. He looks at me and says, Ruddy, what are you going to do with this movie? I said, Christ, if I even touch that book I made my notes in, this is the end of the conversation. That's how tense this man was. And he had no interest in really hearing the philosophy of how I might approach this project. I looked at him, I said, Charlie, I'm going to make an ice blue, terrifying movie about people you love. He said, that's brilliant. He bangs the desk and he runs out of the room. I said, what the hell's that? He said, well, don't get nervous, I'll go talk to him. He comes back in, he says, you got the job. I said, what? You got the job, you're the producer of The Godfather. The one line, that emblematic line that I thought of just on the spot, because I knew when I looked at it, I had to say, what was the movie about? The essence of the movie. Why did you want to make the movie? And that got me the job of my life. The joke of it was, once I got the job, there was a political movement going on in New York at the time. This is my next lesson coming up, incidentally, so I want everyone to pay attention. All the movie producers in them. There was a full-scale case going on in New York to stop the making of The Godfather. The Italian community, emblematic by the Italian-American Anti-Defamation League, run by a man named Joe Colombo. For those of you who are not used to gangster law, Joe Colombo was head of one of the 5 crime families in New York, the Colombo family. Nothing happened in New York without the approval and consent of Joe Colombo. And he had put on a campaign that not a truck was going to roll in New York to do The Godfather, And he called Bob Evans up, who was head of the studio, and said, if you guys try to do this movie in New York, someone's gonna get hurt. At which point Bob Evans said, I'm not producing it now, right? But Bob's telling me the story. He says, well, do me a favor, he said, the guy's threatening, will you go meet Joe Colombo? I said, sure. So now, I get the number of the Italian-American Anti-Defamation League, which is the front for the Colombo family, because Joe wanted his son to run for Senate. I figured, Jesus Christ, now I gotta go meet the head of the real gangster. This is a real. Look, I mean, I worked with many corps in my life. Agents, managers, studio people. I've dealt with thieves. I know thieves, but a mafia thief is different. So I said, not that I was losing my courage, but I needed something. I called Mario Puzo up. I said, Mario, would you do me a favor and come with me to meet Joe Colombo? He says, are you insane? Are you crazy? Don't get involved with these people, Ruddy. You'll be way over your head. You'll never get out clean. He says, as a matter of fact, do me a favor. Don't even tell Joe Colombo you know me. I know it. So I go down to the league meeting at the Park Sheraton Hotel, which was famous because Albert Anastasia, another gangster, was murdered getting a shave in the lobby. So I meet Joe, and there must have been about 50 other men in the meeting. All looked like they were on parole with pinky wings and very serious guys. Joe said, well, we don't want Hollywood to keep defaming Italian-American communities, and you've done a horrible job. Paramount did a movie called The Brotherhood. I said, The Godfather is not that kind of movie. The Godfather has a bad mafia guy, it has a bad Jewish producer, it has a bad Irish cop. It's an equal opportunity employment order. Everyone has a chance in The Godfather, in organized crime. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Joe. Nobody had read the script to The Godfather outside the production group of the studio. I said, if you come to my office tomorrow, I'm going to let you personally read the screenplay. He said, you will? I said, yeah. Come to my office at 2 o'clock tomorrow. The next day, down the hallway, comes the gang that couldn't shoot straight. Joe Colombo, Butter DeChico, and Cesar Vitale. All in trench coat, brown trench coats with pork pie hats. I figured the feds were right behind them. I locked it. They came in the room, I locked the door. Joe sits opposite me. Butter falls on the couch. Caesar's on the window where the hot air comes up. I now take out a 155-page script, big, and I throw it on the desk in front of Joe Colombo. He put his Fiber glasses on and turned to page 1. And he looked at page 1 for about 2 minutes. Finally he said, what does this mean, fade in? I said, well, the screen is black till the fade comes on. Now, I realized there was no way in God's heaven that I ever would have gotten Joe to read the screenplay. He will not turn to page 2. These glasses, I can't read with these glasses. He throws the script to Butter on the couch. You read it. He throws it to his buddy on the couch. Butter jumps up. Why me? Give it to Caesar. He throws it across my desk to the guy in the window. They're passing the script around like it's a hand grenade. No one is going to read 150-page screenplay to see if it's good enough. So Joe grabs the script, slams it on my desk. Wait a second. Do we like this guy? Yeah, we all like him. Now what the hell do I have to read the script for? I said, Joe, what can I do for you to make you happy? And let us conclude this deal. He said, would you take the word mafia out of the movie? Why? He said, well, because mafia has become a generic term that denotes Italian, but everyone's using the word mafia. There's the Russian mafia, the Jewish mafia, the Irish mafia, and we just want. Now, what he didn't know, and this is the point, that one of the points I wanted to make, know what you're doing very carefully. I knew that in that whole screenplay, the word mafia was used one time and one time only. But because they had never read the script, they didn't know that. So they thought it was a big acquisition. I said, Joe, the word mafia is out of the Godfather. He shook my hand, and we became the best of friends. I walked out. It was, the whole thing was so insane that this issue that could not be resolved was only resolved by dealing directly with the guy. I made a deal with Joe Colombo. I shook his hand. Believe me, I did not need a Hollywood lawyer to make a contract with Joe Louis. All you have to do with the boys is shake their hand. But be sure that you don't cross the line in the contract. It was a marvelous experience that I said I will never, never, never give up on anything. Yeah. Just one more. I could talk to you all night and I'll have you all sleeping in one half. I'm honored to get this award, but there were at least 1,000 people who should be getting that award also, because they were the people that helped me get here. So for all of them, I want them to know, I'm not sharing this award with anybody, I'm keeping it for myself. So thank you for being with me on this.